Hello there everyone, this is I am Mark III and welcome back to Mashinky, the Metropolis Project. Yes indeed. In the time between recordings I have been continuing to upgrade my intake of secondary and tertiary resources, namely lumber and coal. But in doing so I am almost at the breaking point of my financial income. So in this episode, which I'm probably going to call something like Full Steam Ahead or such and such, I plan to get all tech unlocks into the second era, which is still as far as this game goes, which means I'll be working on iron sourcing, and then I'll be getting money, which means that our dear little test subject, which is Brayburn if I recall correctly, hang on, where is it? It's over this way somewhere. There it is, here we go, right. Yeah, Blackburn is actually going to start receiving passengers and growth in this particular episode, as we have maxed out our train technology, so we can just slap them down and then not have to worry about it again. I considered doing it the other way around, like I'd get things rolling first, then I'd put in an upgrade, and it's going to be like, ooh, yay, look at me, I'm doing upgrading for an episode, but that would be a waste of time in general, because, well, it'd be very fiddly to do the entire swap over to the new tech. So, ooh, that's a slight bug there. Yeah, that doesn't seem like that. So let's actually build a backwards one, which is a shame. Oh well. As you can see, I have been fiddling around with this, and as I mentioned, I have upgraded the entire resource intake, but now I'm about to refit it with shiny new toys. Also, I took care of that deforestation by building this kind of grid network thing, which works well enough to supply all these local industries, but it's not really built for capacity or anything like that. Just a temporary measure, which is why it's so darn inefficient. Well, to be fair, it actually taxes out the resources as much as possible from its industries, but the industries are only partially or just not upgraded, so, you know, it's not perfect by any stretch, and it's built along passing points and stuff like that, just to keep things moving, basically. Not exactly ideal, and it's also a tangle. End of the day, it really is a flipping tangle. Anyway, let's actually do this. Let's get next age. It's thinking about it. There we go. Now, of course, I could invest these to get early diesel age, but that is not actually in the game yet, so no point. An opportunity, deliver 200 iron ore and coal to any foundry. Well, I need to do that, as I mentioned, because I need to get a supply of iron to properly unlock the next tier of vehicles completely. I've forgotten exactly what vehicles I need to do this, so let's check now. I know for a fact I'm going to be using GS2s because, you know, massive speed and horsepower. Especially the horsepower, because that gives them far better acceleration. Let's see, I want second class carriages, I think, which is actually a wood demand. Capacity 25. Wait, 1.28. 1. 18. Coach cars are better. Yeah, coach cars have better passenger capacity for the length compared to second class, I think. 25 over 1.28. 18 over 0.92. Yeah, I think coach cars are more efficient in terms of sheer capacity, but we'll have to build and test that. I'm not going to bother with dining cars because it's capacity rules as far as getting passengers into Blackburn is concerned. But I need iron supplies at the very least for ore trains, just to get maxed out on the ore. So I'm going to have to do that. I also need it, of course, for upgrades and things too. But right now, let's actually get it started then. Where is it? Oh, there's a pair right there. And they can actually feed straight into the station here. To my existing one. So yeah, I think that is a... No, wait, I need a steel processing. Oh, there's one right down there. Yeah, this one works quite well, actually. Let's see, your extensions, you require... lumber tunnel supports. Yep. The coal mine does as well. And the coal mine right here is, yeah, just also lumber. yeah, these are actually so massively convenient to have these guys so close to each other. Oh well. At least I've got enough wood reserves to actually play around with getting upgrades, so there we go. That's going to help load it in. Yep. That's going to everything. Then I'll take it to this one near Swansea. Just drop that. Station here? No, that's not quite close enough. Oh, right there. There we go. And then that will be feeding straight into this little network over here to feed into this particular station, which can then use this route here to unplug, because that's also accepting coal from this addition down here, which was not present last time. So that's that. Okay. Need at least 2, but I'll probably need more. Let's go ahead and get that up. And of course I require the upgrades on the station, sorry, on the production, not the station itself. The station will require upgrades too, but for the moment, just get that up and rolling. That should be enough, I think. Go. Yeah, perfect. 3 should be plenty, especially since I can double stack the trains so that they carry. Well, actually, I should just specialise it still, I guess. Maybe. Not entirely sure. But then if I get another one there. This is again, of course, just basic station building. But that's going to be a lot of what's in these videos, to be honest. I mean, sure, I could be just sitting around going, ooh, look at how pretty all this is, and watching trains fly by. But end of the day, this is actually a transport network building game after all, so you know, it's to be expected. A lot of the episodes are just going to be like getting tracks and things built up in a way that I am content with. Let's see, let's make this the split section here, so that's where it splits off. Actually no, hang on, there's no need for that. Let's be sensible about this. Me, sensible. Yeah, right. Let's run this along here, so it meets up with that, and then this can't extend this way any further because that's in the way. So that means it requires a drop there. Yep. Sound is still a bit buggy, by the way. Not my fault. Whatever the update was to the game seems to have done something to the sound. It wasn't like this before. So there we go. That'll work. And then this will need to be plugged into here to accept trains from the depot. Whoa, there's one right there next to the... Really? I didn't spot that because it was so darn close to the depot. Why is there one next to the depot? What the heck? I don't even know. But yeah, sound seems to be somewhat buggy. Put that in there. Then of course lift that one up, and then that'll be the crossover points, because we want to give engines access to that section with a bridge, of course. Yeah, perfect. And we also want to, let's see, require a link from here to this one. So that needs to come out like that. So that's there. So that gives it access in both directions. Then I also require a way for this track to get back into this area. So, no, not quite that. Because that bit's going to cause an issue. So it's got to be like that. then I can just quite happily drop this little section here, the tracks won't mind, and just lift it up there. And there we go, we've got a connection straight through. Now, the question is, how am I going to plug this in? Because of how dense the section is, I'm going to have to bridge across here, I believe. So that's a bit of a given. And I also need a direct link from the depot into this track here, which means a split off here. Like that. There we go. This is a very complex area, but it's quite nice, I think. And then, when that starts to turn that way, it needs to turn this way as well to get onto this track here. Because that is, of course, the main throughput, so there we go. Yeah, this will work, this will work. Oops. And of course, that one separates there. No, that's not where I want it. There will work. And it merges over there. Into that one. Then that one just quite happily wanders down here, and is the same for that. Though it doesn't say it's a double track for very long at all. Log process selects an option. Full capacity, we've got tons of logs on the move, so that's a very easy one to get. Just double capacity, get the max reward. There we go. Yeah, half the time I'm not even hearing the darn things clicking anymore. Click, click, click. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's all done. That just leaves all of this down here. Don't worry, I will get to growing Blackburn soon enough. I just need the iron supply, which is what this entire darn thing's about. So like that, like that. That's there, that's there. Okay, right. So all of that is signed up now. All that's left is connect this one into the actual section down here, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Let's see. It's going to have to be a raised 2, isn't it? Yeah, like this. Then I'm going to have to slope it down. So it's a bit of a steep one here because I've got this complex junction already in place. Let's see, I'll equalise that. Yeah, that'll do it. And then that's got to swing around to get into this section here, so yep, that'll fix it. I'm going to have to replant all the trees, of course. Let's see, get that like that. There we go. There's no need for that link, as I see it now, but if need be, I can actually connect it so that trains can go from this track onto this one. But right now, I don't see any need to do so. Then that can just connect into there and get another bridge. I know, it's not the prettiest looking place, but it'll work. And it'll work at high capacity once I get powerful engines involved, which is also another important factor. Problem is, of course, that these are ores, so I actually need steel for those, so I'm going to have to rig up some kind of temporary train for them. Let's do that now, actually. Let's get some temporary trains out there. We don't want to use any of our special resources just yet, so it looks like the Prussian T3s are going to get a very brief appearance. And I mean brief. These are likely the only 2 Prussian T3s I'm going to build. All in the name of getting steel production even started. Sooner or later, maybe even in this episode, I'm going to get these guys replaced. Full load, and then take it down to that guy. Yep, you're the iron ore one. You're a Prussian T3, and you are going to be rigged for the coal. Of course, the advantage of a Prussian T3 in this role is the Prussian T3 is incredibly short. Not quite short enough for this though, cell 1. Oops. So, yeah, incredibly short. So you can fit more of these small carriages right behind them quite nicely compared to a bigger engine. I mean, look at it. It's like half the size of all the other engines, at least. And it just gets better from there. So I'm going to start you off. Yes, I know it stopped. That's still a bug as well. It doesn't realise if there's an occupied track and it's stuck in a depot. It just flashes immediately that it's been stuck for a long time when it hasn't. So get those two started. Now, a train we can get maxed out right from the start is actually GS2, which gives me another reward. Give me a 25 lumber. Pathetic reward, that, but you know. And I'm going to max this guy out with steel, because I've only got the one steel wagon. Max you, max you, max you. 0.58. Oh, I can't add one more for that. Boo. What does he go to there? Full load. And then go to here with that load to dump it off for steel processing. So yeah, we've already got a train rigged up for the steel. We need to improve the throughput, of course, so we've got to actually bother to expand Station 9 at this point. We've got the resources to do so, though, so that's okay. Let's see, signal box. It needs to go into here. So, click. Then that can expand. And this is going to help all the trains coming through, though most of the trains are actually much slower and less powerful because they're all basics. Except for a couple of second-tier engines, which I accidentally built into it. I didn't mean to, but it's happened, so, you know. There we go, I'm just trying to fix the extra stop signs which are meant to be there. Yeah, as you can see, it's slowing to a halt right there because that stop sign's there, but then it moves forward really slowly to get to the next one. That's one of the bugs with extending it forward. You want to extend it backwards regarding where the trains are coming from. Otherwise, it just causes a few issues. But yeah, here comes my first GS2. I love how mighty they sound. It's like this heavy thumping of steam. And when they stop, they just sound so angry. They're just huffing and puffing, going, "Hey, I don't want to be here. I want to go and do something else. Come on, let me off the leash just for a few moments. I'll show you what I can do." That's it. Just sounds so good. I like it. Let's see extensions. Can I afford another? Yep. Let's boost this even further. Same with you. Of course, the ratio is not actually perfect for. Ooh, that's worth +2. Sure. The ratio is not perfect in coal to iron ore use, so it's going to cause a few issues no matter what. Are you there? Stop. Right. If I didn't stop that, it would just go, "Ooh, there's nothing here, and this station's not being used for anything," and then it would just basically just bugger off and keep running in circles until this starts making steel. Since it's actually an expensive maintenance engine, I don't really want it to do that, so, you know, gotta stop it in its tracks, at least at the moment. Hang on, pause. What wagons can I do for this? I could do the bigger Nossingers, but I should actually start to upgrade some of these engines too. Go to the depot. Yeah, I'll actually shut this section down. At least for lumber. And, yeah, the lumber trade can be shut down on here because I can already max out the engines and things for it, so that should be fine. No, you're a station. I just need to find all the trains. You're running through... Okay, you go to depot. You're a coal train. You're a coal train. Coal trains need to stay running at least for the moment until I can get some iron to max those out. So I'll put up with them for the moment. Actually, you know what? Why should I put up with these little buggers? These lazy layabouts who are not maxed out. Why should I put up with them? I mean, there's going to be much faster, much more powerful engines involved, so I might as well tell them to go to the depot too. Just all of you go to the depot to be replaced with better engines and things. Oh, did I tell you to go to the depot? No, I didn't. Go to the depot. All of you go to the depot, you lazy layabouts. How dare you be inferior engines? How dare you? There we go, that's going to empty that out. I've also just realised I'm 20 minutes in right now, so, you know. It's because I've been running on slow time, so it feels like I've not got that much done, but I really have got some decent supply lines starting up. Here comes the coal train. The iron train holds more, so it takes a bit longer. There we go, coal train unloading. Indeed, it's running out, and here comes the iron train. Chugga chugga choo choo, off it goes. And now that'll start to produce my steel, so I'll start to get steel. And that can start to load up. There we go. Also, I should really, really, really slap some extensions into this thing to make it more efficient. There we go. Actually, that's both of the upgrades available for that, so that's maxed out already. And this requires some extensions as well, in the form of a tool plant, which will just help it out. And I can't afford product storage, which just is a general increase. But yeah, trains are going to slowly go into there, so I should just speed it up to max and let that chug away quite happily. Right, Blackburn. You, Blackburn. You're going to be receiving my attention for the remainder of this particular episode. The first thing I'm going to do is correct you slightly. Oh yeah, look at this. Blackburn actually grew because I advanced the era. So it's actually spread a whole load of housing along the place. It's actually done it in a very odd way. I think because the stations was there. Sure. Alright. Block that one off. I was a little bit too greedy with that one, but the rest of it's all set. But Blackburn is actually... yeah, it's grown all over the darn place. Okay. Let's get the tracks sorted, shall we? I'm going to run the track along here, so I can at least get my initial trains rolling, because, as I said, I need money. Also, I should keep this running so I can get all those trains into the depot. I mean, I've got massive amounts of coal, so I don't really mind that I'm running it without any kind of intake for a little while. I'll be just fine. There we go. Now this route is going to connect to a limited number of towns, because if I connect to too many towns, then it won't be able to do it properly. As in, well, to be fair, the total intake will depend on how many passengers I have going hey hither all over the place, you know? So, end of the day, if I have a 1-for-1, Blackburn will still be the much bigger town, because it'll have all the passengers. All the people will go to Blackburn. It's the hip place to be. Yeah, something like that. But it's not going to be ideal, so I want to drop some of those. Right, that's fine. I want to get a track out here. I think that's as close as I can get it, isn't it? Unless I can get one out to there. I can't because of that house. That house is awkward. Unless I build a station in here. Yeah. Let's put the station in here instead. That's a bit better. Like that. Yes. Then it'll be station. I can extend the catchment area to catch a lot of this. Wow, I'm running on slow again. I can extend the catchment area to catch a lot of the stuff. Just fine, so there we go, drop that. But yeah, I can only access so many towns per track that I plug into Blackburn, because only so many trains can actually get through. Even if I'm doing this massive drive to have like only quote-unquote the best stuff going around. There's always going to be an issue. Get some money, yes. Get some money, yes, thank you. Opportunity. Supply of ingots, contract with the foundry owner, no thank you. Go away. Right. So I've got this. I do need a depot along this area, so I'll drop this section here. Wait, I've done that wrong. No, I haven't. Don't mind me. I'm just insecure. That's what I'm doing. I'm insecure. I'm second guessing myself all the time. Let's put that in there. Keep going full throttle, please. Don't know why you keep slowing down. Like that. And that. Oh wait, I know why it is. Because whenever it has a warning, it decides to slow down the game speed. That's why. So that'll be like that. And then that can just run through. And this will be the depot connection for this particular second part. Come on. There we go. Right. And then I think you're going to have to be here, aren't you? No, you're going to have to be there. Then you can connect into that, and you can connect into that one. Whoops. Mashinky can be a bit jumpy sometimes if it decides you want to go somewhere else. There, that. And then you'll have a depot with the appropriate upgrade. Click. There we go. Right. So that's going to be our depot, and we've already got a station in, so we can start to throw things into Blackburn. Quite happily now. Engines, give me the GS2, of course. Ruin Church. Is there a... No, there's no expiry date on that. Okay. Now, as I said, I think the coach cars are more efficient than the second class cars. I'm going to try building one with coach cars and just see how much it can hold. So I'm going to extend you. Ooh, that's a bit too much. Okay, so what can you handle? Do I keep reflexively doing that? 108. Okay, stop. Reverse. Go. Go to depot. There we go. So that can hold 108. Now, what can second class do? Oh, that's a bit too long. I can fit in some additional coach cars. 7.8. Yeah, that's as much as I can do with that. So 118. Okay, right. We've got our winner. A single coach class, and then the rest are second class. So your orders are to go to Blackburn and then to Manchester. Those are your orders. I should get this section really quickly signed up so that it will go, properly. Otherwise, it'll just pick a random direction, as these things are kind of want to do. So you go that way, and this one is a big no-no because it is that way. Yes. There we go. That'll keep these trains under control. Whoops, didn't mean to put that one there. I wish there was a removal tool. Come on, drop you, and actually you go. Just go! Charge! Yeah, see, it tried to go that way. Flipping idiot. And now it. Why are you? What? Oh, because the station's too small. That's why. Extend you with a signal box because you acquired it. Actually, that's the space I reserved for a signal box. Put that there, and that'll get the station where it's supposed to be. No wonder it's getting confused because it can't find the station. There we go. That'll let you go where you're meant to be. Go forth and conquer. Yes, that's kind of my rallying cry now. Go forth and conquer Blackburn, because Blackburn is mine. Haha. I'm also going to have many signals on this just to increase the flow throughput of the trains. I'm not sure how many. But yeah, the train's already rolling, which is going to help Blackburn and the town on the other end as well, Manchester. So that's all one way. No, that's backwards. That's the trains need as much clearance as possible to get as close to the station as they can while the train is in there. But yeah, there we go. That's the first one starting to roll to and from. So yes, go. And just this one by itself is enough to handle the passenger output of Blackburn right now. That is going to change that. Oh yes, that is going to change. Let's increase its caption area by adding in restaurants. There's a restaurant. Again doing that, but now we're capturing that area. The thing is, we're going to need to add freight station to this. Because, freight station and a storage to boost its capacity further. Just to take advantage a little bit. But this train is already hopping back and forth. It's already sapped Manchester out for the moment, because Manchester doesn't have any extensions actually. So I need to get a waiting room into you. There would be good actually. There we go. And I might as well give you a restaurant too, because, you know, money. Lovely filthy liqueur. No, of course, because this is not meant to have more than stuff, I can put extra platforms in to expand it that way, which is a bit ridiculous, but I can do that just to get more people out of Manchester. But yeah, Blackburn is starting to receive peoples. Also, why the hell are the windows so small? Ah, it's partially off the screen. There we go. Yeah, 105 out of 240. The thing is, it would have been like 30 if it remained at its original size, but it didn't. So yeah, that's why it's taking multiple trains. But it's already starting to grow as I take people into it from Manchester. Though it doesn't react to people actually being taken out of the station. It reacts to people actually being sent to the town. Look at all these trains. 260 iron, I can at least do that. I'm going to take an extra 5 minutes or so on the episode, so again this is going to hit like 40 minutes. But at the very least I will be able to do some good. Unfortunately I need to sell all this stuff. Sell. Sell it all! Ah. Right. Oh dear. I've got too many wagons. And because it doesn't allow me to auto-shift it, I've got to deal with each wagon individually. That's another quality of life creature comfort that this game could really use. You know? Just, there's no way to deal with all this. I mean, jeez. I can't do, I have to do each one individually, which is not good. Okay, right, let's get some at least wagons moving on this section again. Right, you. Now the problem is the Nottinger is lighter, but the Strudinger is just flat out better as far as moving logs is concerned. So it'll have to be that. Okay, so your orders are to go to this one here, and then go to, excuse me, and then go to, well, I actually hooked in a second one over here, so, oh, I missed a train. You, depot, now, go. Oh, I need orders. Skip. Off we go. I'll get him moving. Did miss anyone else, I don't know. Right. So your orders are actually to go to Station 23, where you will be delivering wood to that sawmill. I know. Having an extra sawmill. But I need it, generally. So having a train doing that is good. Or rather, an entire thing. So, Strudingers. More Strudingers. Okay, then we need to get you assigned to that one. And then you can go into our primary one up here. Oh wait, I almost got the full load command. Yeah, start. You're fine. Right. Oh, I'm messing up. But yeah, that train's already cleared. It's already cleared out, so it's well on its way. These trains are much more powerful and faster than the trains that were on here previously. So that's one creature of life comforts. I think I'm going to need to upgrade this depot as well. But as I said, it's really cheap. It's 1550. Easy peasy peasy. Give you one of those, and then I have to do this. So yeah, that's creature of life comforts that Transport Tycoon Open TTD has done, which this game could really learn from. And that's not a criticism, by the way. That is love, because this is a solid game. I like it. It's just that it could do better, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to that. Yeah, as you can see, a lot more iron ore than coal in this station already, because of the mismatching ratio, which is slightly irritating. Okay, engines. Honestly, it's just faster to just sell the stuff and then build it up again from scratch, even if it costs me a little bit of money. It's shouldn't be like that, but that's just how it is. Right, you go to here, load, then go to here. Start. Let's increase this to time 2. A new train. Load it up. Orders are to go to this one, load, and then go to here. Start. Right. Now, we need an additional train, though, because we've got some extra stuff that needs to be taken care of. We need to have a train that's working on the coal mines. So, to do that, let's grab an additional lumber train. There we go. Yeah, I know the train has been stopped. Unless it's that other one which is jammed up again. That happens every once in a while, unfortunately. I think I've got enough clearance on it to stop it from doing that, but, you know, it's like... it's not built properly, that other section, so the trains jam up every once in a while. So, full load. Then go to there. Yeah. Then go to here. So this train's going to go all over the place, basically. Then go to here. And you don't need it. You need it. Yeah. And then just go ahead and come over here. Yeah, I think there's another train clog happening. So that train is going to visit all of the mines before it tries to drop off its load from a load of timber. So I actually need a quick cross section in here as well, because there's no way from this track to this track, which I should fix. If I do it like that and then do it like that, there we go. That's enough of a cross section to allow it. It's only going to be the one train doing it as well, so you know it's not an issue. Oops, I've actually messed. It's not going to cause any congestion issues because it's only there's only one train trying to do it. Sure, I'll leave that alone. What I need is the connection from there, which means that's going to be like that. So, see, it's one of them past. It's not blocking this up. No worries. There we go. Right. Yeah, it's all jammed up. Oh, it's because there's a signal missing from in here. Oops. There we go. That'll clean that up. But yeah, as I said, inefficient track. jams all the darn time. Well, pretty regularly. It's not as often as it used to. I've been improving it as time goes on, but yeah. It's a bad track. End of the day, it's just not built for what's going on. Okay, let's get you there. And I need to add this, because if I don't have the consumption on the station, it's not going to drop off the timber. So that and that, yep. Now, I need another crosslink, which will allow the trains from this direction to go into this direction. I did mention that when I was building this earlier, but I didn't stop to realise that, oh, I actually do need to do that. So, it needs to drop down here, and then across like that. And again, there's only one train actually using this direction. So it's going to be fine. Lumber, yes, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Alright. This mine also needs the timber support upgrade, so it will also require timber. Now, the problem is I'm also going to get a bunch of warnings concerning this, because it's going to say, ooh, your station is full, you can't... Your warehouse is full, you can't accept your cargo here. Oh, no, no, no. It doesn't realise that it's actually got stations further on in the route that also require that particular resource, so it's a slight irritation, basically. But there we go, that's going to accept it, and that's going to accept it. So, we now have a lumber train trying to go around which will accept everything, and get all of the mines kicking up into full throttle, which is good. All that's left now, for the last thing for this episode really, is to get a full-length coal train, which is, of course, the fax ones, because the steel carriages are superior to the Linns and Talbots. And they can just hold so damn much when you've got a full-length train. 7.5... Oh, that'll take it one over, won't it? Yeah, that is slightly over. That's slightly irritating. Sell that. If I recall from a previous game, though, I can actually afford to... Yeah, I can put in a Talbot as well, to just slightly increase the capacity further. Full load, and then go to that place. So yeah, one Talbot, and then the rest are just the best wagons I can get. And that train can hold 226 coal in a single go. Oh, because it's so heavy, it requires the GS2 anyway, so, you know. That's why I've got the GS2s just flat out installed from the word go, because if you're going to have GS2s doing some stuff, you might as well have all trains on that entire track as GS2s. It's just better. Then go to this one. Yep. So that'll get more coal supplies going, because my coal reserves are dropping, so, you know, it's just a good idea to have all of that sorted out. Connect to towns. There's, again, no time limit on that. And deliver timber to a tool works. Again, there's no time limit on it, so that's okay. Alright. Yeah, look at that. 8 and 11 going into 5. Yeah, 8 and 11. So basically, you need 50% more coal to iron. And even then, the ratio is not perfect. Which is actually kind of irritating. I don't know. But on the bright side, at least we've got a whole bunch of trains running around full throttle going, hey, look at me, I'm delivering all this stuff, haha. And yeah, that's the one that's doing the special delivery, so of course it's already drained because it's just dropped off its timber load here, there and everywhere. It delivers much faster than the mines actually use it though, so that's why it's going to keep all of those places sorted out. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now the question is, that one's running fine. That mine is now probably saturated by that single train. How's this? Oh, we need another lumber train down there actually. Lumber, 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 lumber. We need more lumber, so give me a GS2. Another tool that would be really useful here, clone train. That would be an excellent one to have. We can clone the orders if you know how. There's no tutorials telling you how to do this. I kind of discovered it by accident. But it would just be so good to have a clone train option, you know? Like, what are you? You are going to station 23, which is that one, so you're hooked into that one. So yeah, that train can get going. And one more. And then we can go and check up on our little test subjects. So those two trains are both going to there. Then there's the other one. So I just need to click on that. And there we go. Clones train rolling. And that should help get those two forests under control. Yes. Right. Okay. Now to end the episode, of course, we're going to our test subject because we're 46 minutes in. Oh no. Right. There's our train 32, still running quite happily. And as you can see, Blackburn has already expanded somewhat to 28 rather than 24. But we need to ramp up the passenger intake. And we need to get mail rolling as well because we're lucky to actually get a postal service here, but because mail can be used as a further source of growth. So I need to find a mail source to attach this to as well. But I'm going to use this line here to attach to these 4 towns over here on this single line. And that's what I'll do during the break. And then the principle is still expand in other directions and do that. Get to more places. So these temporary lines out here, which are currently, were making me a fair bit of money, they've actually been outstripped quite badly just by this single train connecting into Blackburn. Because since I did that, I've gained about 11,000 cash. So yeah, money is no longer any kind of issue with just this single train rolling around. But that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to expand this rail network, and we'll check in later to see how Blackburn is doing. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the show. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yes, indeed. Our test subject will continue to grow. It has no choice in the matter. Ha 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 ha. I feel like an evil dictator but doing this. But oh well. For science, the Metropolis Project must continue. Oh yes. Oh, it's actually getting a full load on the way back as well, isn't it? Yeah. That means we need another train on this route. Already. Yeah. See you all later.